Hello! New World recently had an open beta, and they're planning on releasing the game in less than a month. But is this game ready for release? Is it worth buying? To answer these questions, we need to look into what New World is. We will start out with a character creator. As you can see, there are many options for customizing the character. This is a plus for many players, while some others don't like it because it doesn't give you the ability to change the face other than presets. Once through the character creator, you will end up in the game on a beach and follow a quick tutorial that strongly resembles another game's tutorial. It seems New World pulls ideas from Neverwinter, an MMO released in 2011. During the tutorial, there's a quick fight scene that is kind of like a cutscene that just basically pauses the game and teaches you how to use your abilities, which is nice, but don't expect the combat in the game to look quite like this. It is completely different. Once through the tutorial, you'll be sent into the world with other players where you can begin questing. The questing system is the same as all other MMOs, so you know what to expect here. A lot of go for, and then run back quest. As you start moving through the quest, you'll run into the enemies. These guys seem interesting and have normal attacks, then special powered up moves. In the beginning, this is fun, but as the game progresses, the enemies stay the same and the PvE combat gets routine and boring. Sure, some of them will have a weapon, but they are still using the same attack basically, clubbing you with the weapon. The game needs better AI and more unique mobs, and maybe some mobs that are grouped and teamed together that will require groups to actually beat. The combat system is pulled from games such as Neverwinter and Dark Souls, and maybe some ESO. Some people that have not experienced this type of combat system really enjoy it. The problem is, it's very clunky. New World's combat system does not pull off what Neverwinter and Dark Souls did. It just feels like a new dev's attempt at making a system they are unfamiliar with. The combat system is extremely unbalanced when it comes to PvP. Now, is this bad? Not necessarily. The combat system is off to a good start, and with work can become something great. With the game launching in less than a month though, the combat system is not ready. That brings us to PvP. PvP in this game is flag PvP, which means you have to flag yourself to participate. Those that do not wish to participate do not have to. Flagging for PvP turns PvP games into PvE games. Unfortunately, there is very little benefit in New World to flag for PvP, so most will not. A better system would be to have PvP zones with level caps of 10 like EverQuest 2 had. They could also launch PvP and PvE servers to help separate the players. Ultimately, flag PvP gets abused. Turn it on when you know you'll win, and turn it off when you think you'll lose. Then, there are the keeps that can occur when a zone goes to war. The attackers have to pay gold to declare the war. The person who pays the gold gets to determine who goes on the attack, or at least the first 10. The defender then gets a similar system and gets to choose who goes to defend. Wars are few and far between, and then only 100 out of thousands get to participate. This is not a healthy PvP system, and will hurt the game's longevity. Amazon doesn't seem to be doing any research on other PvP games and how they handle these similar issues. The PvP issues need to be ironed out before the game is ready for release. Now, once you have advanced a little into the game and have gear, you may start to feel like something is off, and you just can't quite put your finger on it. The reason for this feeling is because something is off. The environment is a different style of art than the character is. Then there is the equipment. The equipment is done in a different art style than the environment and the player character. This is most likely due to Amazon's dev team not having set up a proper art bible during the creation of the game design document. Art bibles keep all the artists on the same page for style and quality and are extremely important in game design. As you may be aware, the game was initially completely different. It was meant to be more like Rust in art. They have tried to change from that direction, but they didn't overhaul the game and left many of the features in the game, making the game feel like it's having an identity crisis. This can create a similar feeling to the art being off, where a player knows something is off but can't quite put their finger on it. Another issue is Amazon wanted to put in pay for convenience features and set them up already, then found out players were very much against this. Their answer was just to push off the cash shop for a year, so they can sell as many copies as possible, then start the pay to win or pay for convenience, whichever way they decide to go with it. Because of this, the game still has the features in place in the game that players would have used the cash shop for, such as inventory storage and fast traveling, but now we can't pay for the convenience of speeding these along. Inventory is limited by weight, which is a very archaic game design choice. For gatherers, it does not take much to get overweight, and you need to go back to the city to stash your stuff before running back out. This is intended on purpose so that you will want to fast travel, but fast traveling takes a lot of in-game farming to get the materials that let you fast travel. Fast traveling cooldowns and materials were most likely going to be part of the cash shop. Then your personal storage has a weight limit as well. On top of this, when you go to a new city, it's a new storage system. If your faction controls the connected territories between your storage units, you can pull your stuff over for a price. Otherwise, you have to run back and forth 195 pounds at a time. This kind of storage and inventory system is a deal breaker for me. Now, the UI for the inventory system is new, and as far as UIs go, it's not too bad. I don't really like UIs in any game, so I can't really discuss how good or bad it is. Next up, we have the crafting system everyone is praising. The good thing is, when crafting in a city, the crafting benches can pull straight from your vault that is in the city. That's a plus. When refining mats, you can do it in large batches instantly, so that's another plus. Then, when it's time to craft an item, it happens instantly and it's RNG on how good it will be. So, crafting is boring and instant. Some may say that's a plus. Personally, I like crafting systems that make me feel like my in-game character forged the item. No MMO I've played has done this as well as EverQuest 2 though. The biggest issue with the crafting system is you can craft everything. This means no one needs crafters, and crafting will not be part of the economy, meaning the economy in this game will have very little and will not be that healthy. The fix is just to have players specialize so that one person can't make everything. Same goes for gathering. Now, some people may pay for the convenience of not having to level this stuff up themselves and get other players that level it up, but that doesn't mean that's going to be the common way to go, so therefore the economy may have a problem. You may be wondering why you have heard such great things about New World, and here I am saying it needs a lot of work before release. Well, that's because at its core, New World is a basic MMO. The devs got all of the basics down and put into the game, and they worked well for a beta. That said, New World is only a basic MMO. There is nothing special about it. All of its praise comes from providing what all MMOs should provide at their core. This has more to do with the state that game development has been in the last few years. Games launch unfinished with a lot of bugs, and players buy in thinking the devs will fix the game if they just have more money. Well, a lot of times the company takes the money and moves on to the next project. This attitude will not stop until players stop buying games that are not complete. During PlayStation 1 and before, games had to be completed before launch. Games couldn't be updated or fixed, and the company's reputation was on the line. If they failed, that was it for them. But I'm getting off topic. New World has very few dungeons to do and very little enjoyable content, at least in the first part of the game. When you make a game that takes time to progress to in-game, you should make enjoyable content that builds upon mechanics as you progress. This way players of all levels have something enjoyable to do. EverQuest 2 nailed this early on. The current EverQuest 2 is not in a good state because they tried to change the game to move more like World of Warcraft. Again, this is something the devs could research and not just guess at. I could probably spend an hour or more going over New World's level design and how to fix it. Just to sum it up, New World's level design is lacking. Each area cannot be cut away and stand alone. This is because they just tried to create an open world and they wanted to make it look like an open world, instead of trying to blend in an open world with level design. This part is very important. New World is most likely made to showcase Amazon's Lumberyard system, which is a game development platform like Unity and Unreal. They want more game developers to use their Lumberyard because it ties directly into Amazon's server, meaning game developers have to pay Amazon for use of the server for their games. With Amazon launching a new MMO in just a few months, New World doesn't really seem to be a priority or anything more than a showcase for game mechanics you will be able to buy from them. If New World is nothing more than a show of how their system and servers can handle an MMO, it does a great job at that. Imagine what an MMO developer could do with Lumberyard. Personally, I would wait to buy New World until Amazon truly shows what the game is meant to be. The game has a great base, and with improvements could become an amazing MMO. For now though, it is lacking. Seems to be set up for money grabbing, showing off their Lumberyard, showing off features that game devs can buy, showing off their terrain painter, which Unreal has a very similar one with the similar graphics. And then with a competing MMO being launched by Amazon in a few months, it feels like New World was never intended to survive as a 10-year game. Now with New World's price point at $40, it's really not that expensive to buy in, and yeah, with $40 and no recurring fees, was it ever poised to be a 10-year game? We'll have to wait and see. New World gets a felt scored from me. It's close to an 80%, but just not there. More like a 75%, which is a C, which is failing in game design. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button, and have an awesome day.